Welcome back to LethalPC. Today I wanted to create a video that is solely focused on Nvidia SLI Bridges. Now, there's a ton of options out there that you can go with, all the way from the generic SLI bridges that come with your motherboard that supports SLI, all the way to custom advanced SLI bridges that, when I say advanced, they're actually not providing you any performance increase, but they have like built-in lighting that ties into the Nvidia GeForce experience, and you can like customize how it lights up and runs your system. There's some pretty cool ones. Nvidia just recently launched their claw bridges for two-way spaced, three-way, and I don't think they've released a four-way yet. I could be wrong with that. And then also EVGA has their own bridge that lights up. Let's jump into the different SLI bridges and check them out. You may be asking yourself, why should I not just use the one that came with my motherboard? You should. You honestly should. SLI now supports two-way, three-way, four-way SLI. For those of you who want 5-6-way, sorry, that technology just doesn't exist yet, at least not that I know of. But with that being said, a lot of people like to customize their PCs. They like the looks, they like the styles. If there's an ability to make it match their water cooling setup or their sleeved cables, the mod tech space for PC side is growing pretty rapidly, which is awesome. But with that being said, it's awesome to see all the cool things that even standard companies are doing these days. Like back in the day, you couldn't get a power supply with custom sleeved cables. Now you can, and a lot of companies offer them. But with that being said, SLI has been around for quite a while. Even before Nvidia owned it, 3DFX created the technology. Back, God, I was freaking running Voodoo 5000 cards. But it was great to see that it was a technology that Nvidia carried over, and even AMD created their own Crossfire. So for those AMD fans out there, yes, Crossfire is awesome as well. Allows you to pair up a couple graphic cards and let them run in parallel and get better performance. It's not 1-to-1 performance, but it's like 1 to 0.87 to 0.66 depending on the application, game, etc. So there's a lot of factors that go into that, but that's for a different time. Today, I am focusing purely on the SLI bridges. So we have a couple bridges here. Here is a standard two-way SLI bridge. You have a standard space bridge. Now you wonder, why do I have these different bridges that may have come with my motherboard? Well, some companies, their boards will allow you to place the cards in different PCI Express slots. So in most cases, you're going to be limited on a two-way board, a spacer like this. You're not going to be able to space your card further out. A lot of it depends on how the board is designed with the PCI lanes, or PCI Express lanes, let me be more clear there. And with that being said, it allows you to put like one and one on top, maybe one space, and that's where this comes in. Depending on your motherboard will depend on what it comes with. Now, some EVGA and Asus boards, they come with multiple SLI bridges because they give you basically the option to choose how you want to space your cards, which is a pretty cool thing to have these days. But then you start getting into some of the bigger bridges where people are running multiple GPUs, three-way SLI, four-way SLI. I mean, this thing is massive. It's huge. 4 graphic cards. You can kind of see all the connections here. Here's your three-way versus your four-way. Now the cool thing is if you don't have one of these spaced singles, but you do have a three-way will actually work for a two-way space. You don't actually have to have a card plugged in the middle because of the way that they connect. So I've even tried some terribleness where I created my own SLI bridge with like 3 of these for a three-way SLI, and it worked, but yeah, it's not pretty. That picture, it's bad. It's bad. So these are all pretty common standard SLI bridges. So you got your two-way space, three-way, four-way, right? But then Nvidia came out and they brought out these awesome bridges. Now the one that I don't have is the spaced one. So here's your standard two-way, which I actually have on this tower right over here. I don't know if you can see it. And then obviously a massive three-way SLI bridge. Here is your standard three-way SLI bridge. Now what makes this one cooler? Why am I gonna go spend money on this one? Well, one, the design on it, it matches the Nvidia heat sinks that they rolled out with the 700 series. So like the 780 Ti's, I think even some of the 770 reference designs have this metal built up kind of muscly look on the heatsink shrouds, you know, the shell that covers up the heat sinks and everything, make it look all pretty. So these are really cool. And the other thing is they allow you, this light turns on right here. So there's a light built into this thing, and with Nvidia GeForce Experience, you can actually customize how you want that light to react. So they have like breathing opportunities, whipples, raves, waves, etc. But you'll see the build quality. Whoa! Saved it. The build quality on this is really nice. They did a really good job. First, your typical one. But it's really cool. But then, EVGA, not to be outdone by Nvidia directly, right? They created their own bridge. So this is their Pro bridge. And honestly, my firm belief is that this matches the design that they rolled out with their ACX platform. So this bridge, I think, looks terrible with the standard heatsink on like the 700 Titans, even the stock 980s, 970s. Actually, I don't think the 970s use it, but whatever. But this looks really nice if you have the ACX1 or the ACX 2.0 especially. They kind of have that more industrial streamlined look, which this kind of matches. And the EVGA lights up in the middle and really matches. So if you have the 980 SC ACX cards, the 980 and everything light up along with the back end. Like if you have the For the Win, I think that lights up too. So it matches the same color lights, same sort of LED setup, so it looks really clean. Now, you ask Lethal, do I really need this? Do I need to spend money to get a custom SLI bridge? No. No, you don't. But, a big but, some of us are design crazy. We like to pretend we're designers and we create the coolest PCs ever known to man. And with that being said, we're people like me, I'm very fanatical about my wiring. I want it to be as minimalist as possible so there's not cables going all over the place. I like it just looking clean and really nice. So when you peer into the side of my system, it looks good, or it looks good in our brains, right? But with that being said, do we need it? No, we really don't. But it's a nice to have, it's really cool. And Nvidia had rolled this out, but they had rolled this out just after EVGA rolled out their Pro bridge. So I haven't even taken this out yet. Sure. So this is the EVGA Pro bridge that honestly, so if you're an EVGA fan, I'm a big fan of EVGA. I think they make really solid products and graphic cards, etc. If you have the ACX setups or even the 2.0, I really believe that this bridge was built for that. I see some people using this with the standard shroud cards, and I just don't think it looks good. But if you're running an EVGA-based ACX setup, or even some of the other competitor cards like Zodiac and Gigabit, they make some really cool like WindForce cards or some of their amped editions that also go along with this. They kind of have the same coloring, etc. But just like the Nvidia bridge, the EVGA one lights up here, and it matches with the cards for the EVGA side. Like I know the 980 SC cards with ACX 2.0, they have the same LED lighting along the side of the card here, so it allows you to go into a GeForce Experience LED adjustments, and you can set them up to flash or blink or whatever you want, and they'll all match. It looks really clean. But in general, that's about it. I mean, SLI bridges are SLI bridges. There's no rocket science to them outside of They connect two cards so they can basically talk to each other in parallel. SLI in general will give you anywhere from a 60 to 80% boost on average. It would be really awesome if one day we can reach actual 1-to-1 ratio. But in general, it's a quick and easy way to get more power in your system. You know, for the guys who are running 770s or 970 cards, or even 660s, 760s, etc., throw in one more of those cards and you almost get double the performance. You can't go wrong. Especially if you're playing that one game or you're upgrading your monitor to a higher refresh rate, like the 120 and the 144 refresh rate monitors, or even you're bumping up to 1440p quality, you need that little extra oomph to keep above 60 frames per second. So if you haven't checked out SLI and you have a couple $100 burning in your pocket, pick up that second card, get a nice little SLI bridge, pimp out your system, and make it look awesome. So thanks for tuning in. I'll be doing a lot more videos over the coming weeks, and appreciate you guys checking out the channel. And as always, feel free to subscribe and let me know what you thought about the video below in the comments that are down here. And also, let me know what kind of stuff you are looking for information on in the PC world. If you're looking for how to water cool a specific setup, or if you're looking how do you do SLI, or how do you overclock a processor, I'll be doing all sorts of those videos, and depending on what you guys want to see will depend on which videos come up first. So I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for stopping by.